Welcome back, everyone, to another Alpha X replay cast right here on YouTube. This is a good rematch here from a very recent King of Battles 2 finals. Spawning in the top right of Glittering Ashes, it's our blue Terran player. This is Maru from Team Envy. And in the bottom left, his opponent, the red Zerg player from ENCE Esports. This is Serral. This is a replay cast from the World Team League versus the World event that took place, I believe it was on Wardy's stream. I think Steadfast helped out with some of the English casting on this as well. And now you get a third perspective. My name is Rushi. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, folks, it's a great opportunity here as we boot up this best of two between these two players. To hit that subscribe button, click the bell, because we've got all sorts of fun stuff coming at you on our YouTube channel. 2022 is going to be an outstanding year for StarCraft 2. We already have new information about the ESL Pro circuit that's going to be going through this year. Of course, we're excited to see offline events returning, and I'm sure there's going to be a bevy of great online events as well, such as the World Team League versus the World. Should be an outstanding position for this series as well. Wonderful production put together by all of our good friends monitoring the World Team League. And Serral, Maru, how can you not be excited about that? Maru playing just some outstanding StarCraft in the recent days. Let's see, I am recording this on Thursday, January 13th. I've seen some pretty wild Maru games here in the past couple of days. No spoilers, but definitely encourage you to check out the DreamHack Last Chance if you haven't been watching the groups from that. We've had some pretty sick matchups, and our good friend Maru here has been able to be a part of some of the really cool action that has taken place. And of course, his opponent Serral, no stranger to excitement as well. That's kind of what you get when you're the #1 and the #2 players in the current StarCraft scene. You get some outstanding play. And of course, both players jockeying for the best opportunities they can get going into Katowice, which starts up rather soon. But of course, we're going to talk about this game right now. It is a best of 2 between these two players. Maru going to open up with just a soft amount of harassment here, not really dulling the sparkle of Serral at this point as he gets himself into a third base pretty early on. Now, third base is going to be dropping rather quickly here for Maru, as it is partially completed in the main base. Going into Hellions, a little 1-1-1 action out of Maru as well, which is going to create a rather reserved opening here. But Serral is going to be the one that's kind of on the charge right now, going into that Roach Warren Reaper. Could possibly have a little bit of a negative impact on the surprise factor of this Roach Warren. Serral does a nice job of getting Lings into position here, prevents the Reaper Scout. And Maru's going to have to continue searching around here, but it doesn't seem like the respect is going to last very long. It's a fusion core for the Terran player. Maru getting spicy here in game #1. So we've got a Roach opening versus what will essentially be a battle cruiser rush from the blue Terran player. I mean, both players playing with an equal amount of respect and kind of an equal amount of, well, what if I pulled a fast one over on you? How would you feel if I made that happen? We are going to let that fusion core finish up here. It's actually a rather small amount of Hellions at this point. I mean, there's only 5, and 3 of them are kind of hanging back at the main base. I suppose the position of that fusion core is really important. Now, Serral does try to jump in with an Overlord, not going to be able to spot out anything that's hiding in the backside of the base. He will see that third base coming out, though, so this is a really weird look here for the Zerg player. He sees a third base drop down. he's not probably going to be thinking about battle cruisers at this particular moment. So the roach production does continue to try and stream across the map. Where are we at on that roach count? It's really only 5. There are 5 queens. I think those are just going to be hanging back. So a small investment of roaches here is all it's going to take. Serral is going to make the right choice, though. He is going to come down to a Spire. That Spire's going to pop very, very late, though, in comparison to what Maru has cooking in the bin right now. So a quick third base into double engineering bay. There will be at least 1 battle cruiser. I wouldn't be surprised to see it just be 1 battle cruiser. This is a light enough investment that it's not going to be overwhelming for the Terran player, but it is still going to be a lot to deal with. And that's exactly what he kind of wants to go for. That battlecruiser going to start working away on queen count. Queen count actually is a little bit exposed right now. Only a couple of queens with transfuse energy, and the positioning of the third base is going to allow for some really nice harassment for this battlecruiser. Viking is going to be able to spot out that 4th base location, and it is just so long for that Spire to get up into position. So now it's going to cost 6 drones at this point. Serral is going to be playing severely behind. He's going to have to evacuate the main mineral line again. And now things are just going to be able to continue moving forward here. That battlecruiser just going to pop back in the back corner of the base. I wouldn't even be surprised to just see it hang out here and force these queens to really babysit it and create just a little bit more economic damage. So now Terran player sits across the map. How is he going to respond in the transition here? He's already got 1-1 on the way. His bio is in a really, really good spot right now. Got that third base already set up into position. A 4th command center is on the way. Factory's going to start producing additional ground units here. He gets a jump out. Oh, I mean, this battlecruiser's got 10 kills, but he is absolutely won way more than that. He's won so much momentum. And at a perfect time, too, right before those mutas come out. So now Serral, trying to get his creep spread going, is going to be able to move across with some mutas, but mutas are not going to be a really good response here against the bio forces of Maru at this point. The battlecruiser's already juiced up and ready to go once again. That's a sizable enough bio force here, 13 Marines, that this is going to be difficult to engage upon with just Lings and slow Banelings. So now that 4th base is going to be very, very exposed here. Maru now with his classic control coming forward. This Queen's going to try and absorb a lot of damage, but it actually takes a little bit too much here. Is going to fall. Baneling's going to try waddling on forward, and the connections are not where they need to be. Maru's going to be able to get a very, very strong trade here. Finally, it does fall down with the push, but he takes the 4th base with it. And now Serral just having a very difficult time trying to rotate at all at this point. I mean, +1 flyer attack is going to be finishing up in just a brief second. +1 carapace for the ground units is going to be finishing up. And this is just really kind of going from bad to worse at this moment for the Zerg player. 155 to 128. Again, I cannot stress this unit's loss tab. It's very, very efficient here for Maru. He hasn't even really lost that much from all of the different harassment he has done in this particular game. Oh, this is just going to be horrible damage. Going to be able to pick off so many of these Overlords. That's going to supply block Serral at this point. A nice little surround here, though, with the Lings going to come in from the back side, and that should deal a decent enough amount of damage. Yeah, we'll be able to clean all that up, but now what is going to be left behind? Battlecruiser should be able to get out. No, it does get picked off right away, and that's a 4th base. Maru in outstanding shape here. 80 workers to 70. Going to have that mule economy to work with. This is just a great place. Wonderful amount of harassment and damage for the Koreans, Terran, and now late game for Serral. I mean, it's a very, very strong suit. Both players obviously very well suited as the game goes along. They tend to power up much like the Void Ray upgrade. No. I about said Resonating Glaives. Oh no. I think Gonna get heckled for that one. Prismatic alignment. There we go. Both of these players, very much like prismatic alignment. As the game goes along and time burns on, players just get better and better. 2 Thors is going to be able to provide a lot of coverage against those mutas, and even though there are 16 mutas, I'm going to have a difficult time dealing with 2 Thors. I've run the numbers, and the math looks good for Serral, but I mean, there's just some things here that you have to consider. This is going to be a really strong push here by the Terran player. Going to try and divide up his units a little bit, trying to make things work a little bit better, but Maru has just a little bit too much, and Serral's going to have to tap out in this best of 2. Maru goes up 1-0. Map number 2 takes us to Hardwire, where Maru now sits up 1-0 in this best of 2. So, of course, this is the World Team League setup, where best of 2s are the standard all the way through. It was the top 4 competitors in the World Team League versus 4 EU contenders. I think the team was Serral, Rainer, Showtime, and oh shoot, it was somebody else. Somebody else that played for a team that just had 1 person. Oh, Hero Marine. Yeah, there we go. I mean, all 4 players unable to compete in the World Team League because they only had 1 player on their roster. So World Team League got together and was like, what if we can include these people? And they're awesome players, too. And that creates a fun little get-together here. So now we get a chance to see, game number 2 of Serral versus Maru unfold. There were some awesome setups in the other matchups as well. So definitely worth checking out if you have not had a chance. Do feel free to support Wardy, another wonderful person in the scene. Of course, after this video. But it's another standard opening. I mean, we've seen Maru take the path of, I'd say, least resistance in a lot of matchups against foreigners. I mean, really, it's kind of a show of respect here for Maru to not immediately go into either like a 2-racks proxy or 3 barracks back home, some sort of very, very aggressive setup. You could argue that the Fusion Core was maybe a little bit spicier than standard StarCraft game, and I would tend to agree with you there, but even still, the opportunity to have 3 command centers as a result, always going to do it again. I mean, this is kind of bold here. Not going to lie. It's a very bold play here by the Korean Terran. And I think it's got a better chance of getting scouted this time. Oh, no, not quite. That is not going to get back there. It's just so close. But I wonder if the Zerg player has a bit of second sense trying to piece this together. He is going to try and seize a little bit of map control here, grabbing the first Hellion, kind of pushing those units back. There are 4 more Hellions back at home, but that might just be the indicator that Serral's looking for at this point. Additional presence of those Hellions means that the gas is probably going to go elsewhere. And once again, this is going to end up being a battle cruiser opening. Ooh, okay, grabbing the Vikings. Nice little pick off here by Serral. Surely he's got to be feeling good about that one, because that does give him almost full map control at this particular moment in the game. Maru's going to be able to place down his 3rd command center. That's already on site. But no roaches this time around here for the Zerg player, opting to go into Ling Bane. It's possible that he could stay on Queen Ling Bane. We've seen Serral play a lot of that in the past few months of StarCraft. But if Serral's gut sense is tingling, and he suspects that there's a possible battle cruiser coming once again, more than likely, Spire's going to be on the way. So Serral does make that choice. He's going to throw down a Spire. Maru's going to go in the exact same direction here as he did in game number 1, immediately throwing down 4 barracks back behind. Will have a decent amount of bio on the way, and here comes that battle cruiser. Oh, Queens are actually going to be able to leap right on top of it as well with a Spore Crawler. That's going to be a lot of damage down. Good target firing here will make things still valuable. 4 drones do end up going down as a result, and it's still very efficient opening here by Maru, but I think Serral's been able to play just a little bit stronger this time around and is playing much more efficient as well. So now it's just a patient race to the Spire production, but this is a much less advantageous position here for the Blue Terran player. Maru's now still going the same path. He's got that double engineering bay. +1 is about halfway complete here. The armory's going to go down. Serral gets a little bit of extra information. Is going to confirm the bio follow-up, and that's just going to reinforce a lot of the choices that Serral's made in this game. He's got centrifugal hooks just about finishing up. 10 mutas are on the way as well. So the harassment mode is going to have to start beginning here for the Zerg player to really equalize what has been lost on his side of the map. I mean, he's lost 6 drones at this point. The income advantage is in his favor at least a little bit, but Maru should be able to start rescuing that back with his mule count and his production. So, I mean, time can only tell here for the Red Zerg. Needling Bane going to be the composition of the day here for Serral in this map number 2. Muta should be able to find a little bit of damage here in the main, finding a little pocket where there is not missile turret coverage at the current conjecture, but Battlecruiser should be able to push that pop. Picking off a gas will delay a little bit of the production, but it's largely bio at this point. I'm not sure that Maru's really going to be too starved. The 1-1 of Serral is very, very delayed here. And that's going to be very difficult against Maru, who already has 1-1 for his bio units. +2 has already been started. He does have centrifugal hooks, so that means those Banelings are going to be a little bit more advantageous on the rolling and the positioning, but tank positioning is going to be really strong as well. So the mutas are going to have to be called into the fight here. Those are off to the left-hand side, going to try and find a better position to really get on top of the siege tank. Siege tank is not in a scary position just yet, but there is still a lot of damage potential for Maru to be able to get on top of this third base location. Oh, the battle cruiser is going to be a part of the fight as well, but the mutas get pulled in. Battlecruiser is going to be able to leap out once more. 3 drones go down. That could have been much worse damage. I think Maru is going to finally back off as well. Happy with the damage that he's gotten done at this point. Doesn't want to overextend. Starting to see that Serral has a growing army. In fact, it is now equal in army supply count. 97s across the board. 181 to 177 overall army counts. Rather close as well. Got a quick little peek at that army graph. It's been a very, very fast growth for the Zerg player here. Gonna try and jump on top of the tank, and he does manage to get that. That's going to open up a lot of advantageous positioning for Serral. His Lings are going to be able to be a part of the fight coming forward here. The Banelings need to be a part of this as well. Banelings are rolling in from behind. Oh, you know, I mean, this is kind of a weird position here for both players. I don't know if Maru wants to be quite that far forward, but we do have Burrow coming into play, +2 flyer attack. Oh, if we can get a Baneling bomb or 2, how fun would that be? Those are always entertaining to watch. Doesn't matter how it ends up going. And that's a lot of Banelings. Only 5 damage. That was not actually the exchange that I think was being desired here. Mines are going to help protect this position. Grabbing another gas, though. Really, really good response here for Serral. Baneling's going to try and work their way in. That orbital command still in a really strong position. 6 workers do end up going down, but what kind of response is going to be available here on the right-hand side? There is a planetary fortress, but the workers are not going to be able to be evacuated. 18 do go down, and the planetary fortress is going to fall as well. And Serral behind it will be able to have a large swell of units here. He's taken the 5th base location. He has plenty of Ling Bane to flood in behind. 18 workers go down, 92 for Serral to the 70 of Maru, and this is a much better position for the Zerg player in game number 2. Serral has a little bit more map control. He's going to be able to push back a little bit easier, and he's being able to respond appropriately here as Maru's going to try and march across the map using the Thor to body block for those Banelings. Banelings are going to be able to pull back, and Serral does not overcommit into the Thors at that point. So Maru's positioning does buy him a little bit of time to rescue some of his retreating army at this point. But Lings are going to continue streaming across the map and make things count for the Zerg player. And a multitude of run-bys. Serral's going to try and buy himself a lot of positioning here. Army of Maru is going to swing around to the left-hand side, but that allows Serral to post up on the right-hand side. The position of the tower is going to be really, really strong here. That's going to help out. A couple of medevacs immediately falling here. Oh, this is going to be a much better position for Serral. He's going to be feeling a little bit more confident as he comes on in, but Maru, ever the soldier here, does try to figure out a better way to navigate this, and Thors are so hard to navigate around with those Banelings. 9 workers do end up going down as a result, and Serral does even out the units lost tab just a little bit, but Maru manages to keep his expensive units alive. Oh, much better positioning here by the Banelings, and he actually burrows a couple as well. So 23 workers has gone down in the recent moment, 43 in total. This is a much different game for the Zerg player, who is now at maximum supply. Once again, Maru trying to resecure a 3rd and 4th base position. Again, this is a much better game for the Zerg player. He's got to be feeling way more confident. Maru, on the other hand, though, is trying to stabilize. A great mine shot here. Good positioning for the Terran player. Is going to be able to force that away to limit the amount of SCV damage that happens here in the follow-up. Armory is going to be cranking out +2, +3 infantry just now finishing up. But Adrenal Glands is going to be on the menu here just very shortly. And this is a lot of units here for the Terran player to try and deal with. And there's just no tank coverage at this point. Mines are not going to be efficient here as well, and all of these units are going to have to take a step back. The Banelings, though, going to have to try and avoid those Thors, and they do try and navigate around as much as humanly possible, but the Adrenal Glands starting to kick in here. The Thors starting to fall, as well as 14 workers being picked off, and Serral able to overwhelm his opponent, and in this best of 2, each player manages to take 1 win in the World Team League versus the World match.